by. My name is Ben Hobart. I serve as the mayor of the village of Woodmere. So glad to be here at Barnes & Noble. This is a wonderful series of opportunities to meet authors. You're sitting next to another author, James Wingo. He wrote a book as well. And we're here for Jermel Carr today. And I'd like to just share just a little bit of information about this young man. I've been knowing him for roughly 2 decades, if you will. He's done some outstanding things. He used to work for Kimberly-Clark. He worked for Nestle. He's done a number of things as far as marketing is concerned. And one of the things that's very interesting about his athletic prowess, he used to play for the Golden Gophers, NCAA football. So, you know, there's some of the things that you may not know about him, but he's an extraordinary gentleman who does some awesome things in our community. He works with a lot of different people to try to make what they do better and best. And so we're really excited about his book that he's here to not only tell you a little bit more about, but to sign as well. But before he gets to the podium, if you will, the verbal or proverbial podium, but we would like to do something special. I would like to say that we've had a couple of other athletes and significant people who have been here before prior to him, so he joins this long list. A couple of years ago, Geraldo Rivera was back there with his book. But one of the things that Geraldo didn't get when he was here is something that we would like to do to Mr. Carr, is present him with the key to the village of Woodmere.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
So there you go.
Thank you. Wow.
And there's also, I mean, I know you can't carry that around all the time, but hopefully there is a medallion. We call it a challenge coin, and it has the emblem of the village of Woodmere on it.
Wow.
And we are now in our 80th anniversary, if you will, come November. But we just want to welcome you to our wonderful community. Thank you so much, and the best of luck on your book. I know it's already doing great things on Amazon. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And BarnesandNoble.com. So.
Exactly. You gotta make sure we do that.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Right.
Wow, this is awesome. So
Yes, sir.
thank you.
We also have a plaque in there as well, but
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you. So I appreciate that from the Honorable Mayor being Hobart. I wasn't expecting this at all, so I really do appreciate it. I'm excited to be here, and I thank Barnes & Noble Woodmere for allowing me this opportunity. This I was just discussing a little bit, has been a journey in itself. You know, it's not one of the thicker books that you see around, but it is a dream of mine, and something that I've been working on and talking about for probably about 8 years now. So I think we first started doing the Winners Win conversation with schools, talking to kids about, you know, what it takes to win, whether it's in school, whether it's in sports, whether it's in academics, you know, just life in general. What does it take? And what I found was, as I was going into schools, just doing career days and things like that, the kids didn't have confidence in terms of what they were doing or what they had, or they were missing something. They didn't have the right, you know, computer, or they didn't have this. So it was just this confidence that they were lacking. And so, and looking at some opportunities in my life and going back on some things that I had been through, just wondering, like, what gave me the confidence to do what I wanted to do. And it was funny that the inspiration for the book actually came from, I was working at Nestle, and I had brought a consultant in, and they were from Chicago. And so we were done with the meeting, and I was walking them out, and they said, I said, I'm from Chicago as well. And they were like, oh, what part? And I told them the South Side. And they were like, oh, okay, we're on the South Side. And I was like, well, not too far from Comiskey. They're like, oh, I'm familiar with Comiskey. We're, you know, the old Comiskey Park or whatever. And they were like, where? Like, you know, I'm familiar with that area. Where'd you grow up? And I said, well, I grew up in Ida B. Wells projects. And they stepped back. And they said, Ida B. Wells, the projects? I said, yeah. And they said, well, how did you get here? And I said, well, I went to school and, started off at Kimberly Clark. They were like, no, how did you get from Ida B. Wells to here? And that caught me off guard a little bit. And so it really got me to thinking about my path and where I had people to help me and do, provide me guidance and give me the confidence. Part of it was me and wanting to do better and get out of that environment. But the other parts were just, my support system and people that had helped me, people that encouraged me, not just my family members, but people outside of my family. And then I look back at some of the other things, in terms of sports and other parts of my life, and that's where the framework for the book came from, the taps into confidence. So talk about your talent, recognize, are you a good student? What are some of the things that you enjoy doing? What are things that you're passionate about? What would you do, and I talk about this in the book, what would you do if you weren't getting paid or if you weren't getting good grades? What are some of the things that you enjoy doing? Is that artwork? Is that reading? Is that math? Is that basketball? What is it? And then moving that along to ambition. And I talked about I wanted to just be able to get out of that environment, if you will. Not leave it, because I always go back and want to go back, but how do I propel myself from some of the things that that I was used to seeing or that was reoccurring in that neighborhood. So what are some of the goals that I had? And I talk about SMART goals in here and setting SMART goals and why that's important. And then going on to the preparation. I was just talking to my son before coming here. I was like, I wasn't prepared. I didn't get here when I was supposed to. But preparation is important. You got to practice. And it really should be 2 P's, because it's preparation and perseverance. So the preparation comes from your practice, from your habits, doing things over and over again in a way that will help you get better. Not just doing them, but doing them with intent of getting better. And so, and then the perseverance, sometimes we get knocked down. I wasn't a scholarship athlete. I actually walked on and played at the University of Minnesota. And so one of the things that I had to learn coming from, high school, playing ball, it was a little bit different. So you got knocked down. You didn't get, didn't make the team. There were some people that didn't make the team right away. Luckily, or fortunately, I did. I was able to travel right away, went out in the first game in San Diego State, but through that whole process of school and athletics, learned that you get knocked down. We didn't have the best record or whatever, but we went out there and we gave it our all, and so that's where the perseverance kind of came from. And then the support I kind of spoke to a little bit before. We all need support to get to where we're going. You never, I talk about, you never see the Academy Awards or the Grammys or whatever. People get up there and say, thank you, but I did all of this by myself. No one helped me. They always thank people that have helped them to get to the point where they are. And one of the things that I talk to students about, as well as people in the workforce, figure out who your allies are. It's not always your family members. And in some of the schools that I went into, their family members were part of the people that were kind of bringing them down and giving them negative feedback and a negative impact on their life. So who are those other people that you can count on? Is it a counselor? Is it a coach? Is it a supervisor? Is it someone in a different department or whatever? Find those allies, and those are people, and you can recognize those people that want you to do better sometimes than you even want for yourself. They're putting you in positions. I had a counselor that talked to colleges on my behalf, and I didn't even know. That's almost how I ended up at the University of Minnesota. So she knew someone else that was going, submitted my information, came back, and they said they were willing to give you almost a full ride academically. And I said, okay, well, let me fill out this application and send it over to them. So who are those support people? And then, once you get that talent, you have that ambition, have that preparation, you have that support, that's where the confidence comes from. So when you go into a situation and you know that you've worked hard and you know that you have people that have been supportive of you, and you know that, you have a goal in terms of what you're trying to reach and where you're trying to go, that's where that confidence come from. You know, Michael Jordan, I talked to the kids about Michael Jordan. There was a speech that he had, and he said, well, when I went on the court, I was never worried about what I was going to do on the court. He was like, because I had done everything in practice. So everything, I worked harder in practice than I did in the game. And when I got on the court, I wasn't worried about what I was going to do. I had confidence in everything that I was going to be able to do because I had put in the work. I had worked with my teammates, your support system. You know, he set goals or whatever, but he didn't have any worries. And that's where, when you look at leaders in business, when you look at leaders in athletics, when you look at leaders in general, people that go on to win, and one of the things I'm talking about, winning is a personal thing. It's not always about coming in first place. It's in terms of reaching your goals and doing the things that you want to accomplish. But when you look at people that do that, they have a confidence about themselves. You know, they believe, they know that I can go into this situation and be successful. You know, Warren Buffett knows that I can go into this company and turn it around because I've looked at the data, I've looked at the numbers, I've been in this business for a while, I know what I'm doing. You know, same things on athletics. They know that they can go into those situations and be successful. And so that's what this book is just trying to do, to help people get in that mindset. I talk about it as winning is a mindset. It's not about, again, people will cheat and do whatever to come in first place. That's not winning. Winning is when you put your best effort forward, when you work at something and you set goals and you accomplish those goals. It is a personal thing, and that's what we talk about in the book. So I'm excited about it. I thank you all again for coming. Thank Woodmere for having me here. Thank you for this key to the city. But that's kind of my spiel. I do have an affirmation that I kind of talk to and want people to kind of, if they are going through situations where they aren't feeling confident, to just say this. So if you all wouldn't mind just saying this after me, repeat after me. I am a winner.
I am a winner.
Because winners win.
Because winners win.
Winning doesn't just happen.
Winning just doesn't happen.
It is a mindset that has to be accepted and developed.
It is a mindset that has to be accepted and developed.
If I am not preparing to win,
if I'm not prepared to win,
I am in essence preparing to lose.
I am in essence preparing to lose.
I do not focus on anyone or anything.
I do not focus on anyone or anything
that does not pour into my winning spirit.
Does not pour into my winning spirit.
I do the things that winners do.
I do the things that winners do,
regardless of if they are difficult or not.
Regardless if they are difficult or not.
I am talented.
I am talented.
I am ambitious.
I am ambitious.
I am prepared.
I am prepared.
I am supported.
I am supported.
And I am confident.
And I am confident.
I am a winner.
I am a winner.
Because winners win.
Because winners win.
So that's something that you know, you could take with you. I sent it to a couple of people that wanted it at their schools. It's not in the book, unfortunately. I didn't put it in the book, but that's something that, you know, when you're talking about giving yourself that pep talk, you know, I know that I have talent. I've done things, have shown that I have talent. I am ambitious. I am prepared. I am supported.